All right. Hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of the MakeCode Arcade Advanced stream. I'm Richard, everywhere.
Hi, I'm Abhijith. I'm AB Chatra in the forum.
And I'm Daryl, at Darzu on the forum.
I'm Joey, at JWanderl on the forum.
I'm Shannon, at Shakao on the forum.
And I'm Vivian, at Live Cheerful on the forum.
Cool. And so we have a new face today, Abhijith. So, hey, Abhijith, how come it's taking you so long to be on this stream?
You're putting me on the spot here. Well, I was busy fixing all your bugs, so that's the reason.
Abhijith is the developer lead on the MakeCode team, so he is all of our boss. We like him, though.
You have to say that on the forum.
So what's our plan for today, guys? I know Shannon had an idea.
I did have an idea. The idea was we should make a game with some kind of like messaging system. So you get messages and they're displayed on the screen in some way, and then you have to do something based on them.
Yes, and I love this idea because I have a weird affection for video games that make you use smartphones. I don't know why, but if you have a video game in which you are interacting with a smartphone, I like it much more. And that includes like the Persona games, a bunch of other games. So
does it have to be a smartphone? Can it be regular phone?
I specifically like sending texts, back and forth. For some reason, I just find that a really fun way. And it also it like grounds it in realism of modern day, which is something that I like narratively,
But it might really date our game. Like in the future, you just have like the brain-to-brain connection, and they're like, "What? A smartphone? How vintage? Very cute."
I'm willing to take that chance.
It'll be cool and retro by then. It'll be like, like everything in the 80s is cool now. Smartphones will be.
Yes, let's make a retro.
Presumably, I would also love a game where you have carrier pigeons and you send messages between each other.
Oh, man. Yes.
All right.
Let's see.
So let's go ahead and start out with a, well, first I'm going to start out by pointing out this extension that I've added. So this is an extension that I've been working on in my free time to make text and saying long pieces of text easier. We've used it on stream before, but it's called the story extension. You can get it by going to this GitHub page, github.com/ricknoll/arcade-story, and then pasting this URL into the extensions dialog down here. Basically what this extension is good for is showing pieces of text. So it's a little different than the text sprite because this actually kind of prints them out to character by character and has some fun little animations that go along with it. They're both useful, but for kind of different things. So just to demonstrate that real quick, I'm going to just print a script. So I don't know what to type in here, but it is important that I type something for you to read.
That was beautiful.
Cool. And now if we play this, see it's going to print out. It'll break the text into lines and print it character by character. And even if I had a lot more text than that, it would even break it up into pages and move it around. And so there's a few different ways that you can use this. One is just by printing text like this. There's also some more advanced stuff that we might get into at some point that has to do with scripts and scenes and attaching it to sprites. So that's the story extension. We're going to be using it in a bit. Before we get started with that, though, let's go ahead and just kind of define our world. So I'm going to go ahead and create a tile map. And what kind of setting are we going for, you think? I think I'm going to do black and white for the palette. Anyone have any ideas?
Shannon, this was your idea, so I don't want to preempt.
Oh, no, you should go. I did not have any.
Oh, can we have something to do with like a bicycle? And you're doing stuff and you have to go places on your bike?
Ooh, so you're like a bike courier.
Yes.
I like it. All right. So let's go ahead and make some sprites to go with that. So we're going to need some roads. That's easy.
Let's see. And while we're drawing, it is worth mentioning that we're using the beta editor today, which we have been using all week, but a good reminder. Lots of new features,
Yes.
possibly new bugs.
Yes. So if you're going to use the beta editor, be careful. Your program might break at some point. This is something that actually happened on the forum yesterday, but we were able to recover the program, so hopefully it wasn't that bad. Okay, so now we've got some roads, so let me go ahead and do that. I'm also going to do a sidewalk. So I have some experience with doing sidewalks, and I found the easiest way to do it is you just do a square that's all white with one line back and forth. And it doesn't look impressive right now, but, oh, whoops, I messed it up. But when you put them next to each other, it ends up being a nice little sidewalk.
That is a good sidewalk.
I think these dotted lines are too close together, so I'm going to maybe just do like one dotted line per tile. Do something like that.
Can we also really quick go over pasting the extension into pasting the GitHub URL into the extension dialog?
Yeah.
For people to check.
So I've already done it in this project. So just real quick, I'm going to create a new project so that I can show this off. So when you're in a project, what you want to do is get the URL for this GitHub project, which is github.com/ricknoll/arcade stories. Someone will post it in the chat.
It's in the chat already.
Yes.
Cool. You click on Advanced, and under Advanced, you'll find Extensions. If you click on that, you have this big search bar here. I have a bunch of local extensions, which you will not see when you open them. These are just extensions that I've helped people debug with and other things. So when you paste the URL, yeah, what's up?
Can I search for that extension?
If you paste that URL in here, it'll show up, but it will not show up if you just search for it.
We haven't explicitly added it to the approved list yet.
Yep.
Okay.
So once you type this in and press enter, you'll get story. It says user provided extension, not endorsed by Microsoft, is endorsed by me. And if you click on it, it will add this new category to your project. So that's how you add the extension. All right, back to our tile map. Okay, so I'm just gonna have a road here for now, and I think I'm gonna put some buildings on here. And maybe you're just going to be taking packages from one building and then moving them to another as you get messages coming in. But for now, I'm just going to make some standard kind of brick buildings and some doorways. And then I'll make this tile map much bigger once we actually get the gameplay going. So real quick, let's do a doorway. So I'm just going to make this all black. Going to draw some lines for the doors.
My neighborhood has some really interesting doors. They're not all rectangle. Very exciting.
That is very exciting. All right, so we got a door there, and we'll do just brick buildings because, as I've mentioned before, they are the laziest and easiest tile to make for various materials. I love it. So all you really need to do is just kind of make a bunch of rectangular rows. And we're going to break these up.
What sort of shape is a door that is not rectangular?
Like my neighbor has one that's like round at the top, and then it's yellow. Very cool. But I also feel like I've seen some like more square shaped doors with like lines going across it. It's just people in my neighborhood are super fancy. So they've gotten to the point in their lives where they don't have to have standard doors anymore.
Yeah, the interesting doors part of everybody's life that you go through.
Yellow's a good door color, though.
Right.
Feels like
I was hoping it was going to be like a porthole, like on a submarine.
I was picturing like a Hobbit door, you know, like.
Ooh. I'll start taking pictures of people's doors and sharing it. I feel like there is a Hobbit themed door somewhere around here. They're very interesting houses.
All right, this is going to be a window. So let me go ahead and make it a nice circular window because circular windows are fun.
Have you drawn this before? How can you draw that fast?
You get used to it.
Richard draws a lot of monotone sprites.
This is our 67th stream, Abhijith.
Yeah. First
Whoa.
one you've been on.
This one is a pretty impressive one to me, though. I just
Thank
can't
you.
draw monochrome stuff.
Yeah, this looks great.
I think maybe like side on either side of the door, and then this will just be like that. And I don't know. I'll put it back the way it was. And now let's go ahead and give it a roof. So for the roof, we're going to have some corner tiles. So let me go ahead and do this. And I'll just make it solid for now, and I probably will end up changing that. Do like that. Yeah, I think
Alright.
Shannon was mentioning we should at some point do an art stream where we can kind of talk about the tips and tricks we've learned for doing these things. It's definitely something you get better with practice, and if you just make a lot of games.
Hopefully someday I will.
You're fine.
Joey, you set the bar so low last week for the animals stream, but I feel like your animals were great.
It
Copy
might,
and
tile maps
paste.
might be.
Oh, you're right. It doesn't work in tile maps.
Yeah,
Yeah.
unfortunately. But we could just do a couple doors. That's like the key.
True. Yeah. So I'm going to just make so that we have 2 locations now, and then we can get into the actual coding side of things so that we write some code at least before the end of the stream, and it's not just me drawing stuff. Oh, whoops. I have the line tool selected.
Oh yeah, that's great.
Oh yes, tall window. See tall
All right.
things.
Right, and we'll fill out this sidewalk. All right, cool. Oh, one thing I forgot to do was mark the walls. So I'll click the wall button to turn on the wall tool, and I'm going to mark all of these as walls, except I probably shouldn't mark the door. I'll fix that in a sec. Cool. All right, so let me create our character now. And I'm going to rename this one to be Courier, because it's going to be a bike courier. Yeah, this is going to be interesting. All right, so 2 circles for wheels. Seems like a safe starting point. And like a center dot in each. Then we have the frame going right here. And then need the line tool.
Have you guys ever played that game where you have to draw a bike from memory?
What? Bikes are so hard. What is that game?
Yeah. It's like everyone thinks they know what a bike looks like. You're like, oh, it's got 2 wheels and like some stuff in the middle. And then you ask people to draw it, and they're all different and they're all wrong because the inside connected parts are complex.
I've seen one where people have 3D rendered people's bikes drawings, and they're all impossible.
Can the character just be an autonomous bike that receives a text message and drives?
No, I want to draw a little person on top.
Okay.
This is a good bike, though.
Very good bike.
Thank you.
I was going to offer to go get my bike for reference, but Richard can't see us anyway.
That is true. I do actually have a bike in the room with me, though.
Oh, easy.
I did not look at it. All right.
Unicycle
Now
would have been better, though. I was thinking about it.
Oh, man.
Oh, yeah. Hindsight's 2020. All right. So we're going to put a dude up here. Get him a face.
Cool hair. Oh, okay.
He's gonna have a hat. Please, he's a courier.
Hat game.
Safety first.
Oh, you're right. It should be a helmet.
It's a helmet hat, you know, like mountain bike helmets kind of have a little visor.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Signed off by Daryl, who rides bikes.
All cool bike couriers.
Yeah.
I have no
use
idea
their
how you're gonna
arms.
do legs or hands here. Yeah, that works.
You don't need to hold on to the handlebar when you're really good with a bike.
Yeah, you can
How
ride it with no.
are you
handlebar.
holding a package?
Yeah, you
Oh.
hold the package with your arms.
And real quick, I'm realizing that it's going to be important that I draw an outline because we're just using 2 colors. So let me go ahead and do that now. It needs to contrast somehow with the white. When you're doing an outline, it's a lot of times you have to decide how thick you want to make it. I prefer thinner outlines, so that means not doing this. You want to leave the diagonals kind of unmarked, and it makes it a little lighter weight. It looks really weird when you look at the sprite like this, but once it's in the game and kind of contrasting against white, it'll look a bit more natural and a little less heavy.
Chat says legs.
There.
Can you just be a centaur? Can we call him a bike tar?
I feel like in my
No.
mind, I'm picturing it's like
The legs are there.
It's like a robot bike, but to make it more friendly for the humans, they just put a thing on the top of the bike.
Yeah, it's a bike.
Oh yeah,
centaur.
like that
Like
like
that
the
commercial.
taxi in Total Recall.
Yeah. Oh, we have to make it bigger. Maybe not.
All right, let's make it a little bit bigger because I'm going to need 2 more 1 width. So we'll make this 18, and I'll just move it up for the height. All right. Cool. So we're going to use move courier with buttons. And let's go ahead and add our camera follow. So that's in the scene category somewhere, and I always have trouble finding it. Here it is. Cool. All right. Looks like a bike rider. I'm going to have to make it so that they reverse direction, though, when you press the left button. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to drag out an on button pressed. I'm going to have on left and on right. And I'm going to create a variable now that's called facing left. This could also be facing right, but for some reason, I've just made it the convention in my head that facing left is the way to do it. So by default, since I drew it to the right, I'm going to set facing left to be false. I don't technically need to do this because all Booleans are just kind of, they start out as false, but I'm going to do it just to make the code a little clearer to read. And now I'm going to flip the image when left or right is pressed if it's not facing the direction that we want it to be. So on left button pressed, if not facing left, then we want to set facing left to be true because we're changing direction. And inside of the images category, we have a flip API. We have 2 actually, 1 for vertical and 1 for horizontal. We want to flip horizontal though. So I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to get the image for the sprite, which is at the bottom of this category. So change this to courier. And now I'm going to do the opposite thing inside of right. So in right, if we are facing left. So get rid of the not. I'll set facing left to be false, and we're going to do the same flip. So now, cool. We got a little kind of animating guy, which is nice. All right. So we want to have messages that kind of appear, and they tell you something and then they go away. Real quick though, I'm going to make it so that we are not starting in the middle of this building. And to do that, I am just going to place on top of a random road tile. Cool. So weird things happen when you click out of the simulator while a button is pressed. All right. So I'm going to make a function, and it's going to be like print message, I think is what it's going to be called. Or create text message. And it's going to take in some text. And what this is going to do is we want to create a sprite that's probably at the bottom of the screen that will like float up. Does that make sense? Was that what you envisioned, Shannon?
Yeah, basically. Or I think if you just created it fixed, the text would still like scroll up by itself, right? Either way, I think both would look good.
All right. So we're going to go into story, and we're going to grab out a print text block, I think. So let's go ahead and grab this. Oh, that's print script. We want it to a print text. So we're going to print the text at X, Y, and we need to be able to control its location. So I think what I'm actually going to do is create a sprite and have the sprite say the text. So I'm going to go into sprites, and I'm going to create a projectile. The reason I'm creating a projectile is it's a little different than how we normally create them. This one's just going to have a transparent image. And basically, I want to use the projectile so that I can make sure that it gets destroyed when it goes off screen. Because I'm going to make it like print out here and then float up. Should be fun. So I'm going to create this projectile. We are going to leave it as a transparent image. I'm going to set the VX to be 0, and we want it to be going up. And if we've covered this on stream before, but in arcade, the Y direction goes down, positive. So if I want it to go up, I need to give it a negative Y velocity. So I'm going to make this negative 50. Instead of using this print, I'm going to go into story and drag out a say, and I'm going to choose projectile. All right.
I mean, we have other say blocks. How is this different from them?
So the normal sprite say, you know what, let me get it to where I can call this function, and then I will demonstrate it. So we're going to have projectile say the text, and I'm going to grab the controller, and I'm just going to attach this to on A button press right now so that we can test it out. Miss Albertson needs coffee grounds. All right. Okay, so that's our message right there. And it's kind of flying up to the screen. So the difference between the normal say, which is inside of the sprites category, and this say is that if I were to change this code real quick, you'll see that when I call this sprite say, all of the text appears at once. It also has some kind of annoying behavior where you can see it's kind of off the screen, which is not what I want in this case. I want to make sure that it's always visible. And it also is scrolling because the text is too long for it to fit. The nice thing about this say, which is from the story extension, is that when it prints the text, it will always show up on the screen. it will keep printing and break the line if the text is too long to fit in one line. And it'll print it character by character instead of the text all at once. Does that answer your question, Abhijith?
Yes, this one looks much better than the other one.
Yeah, I was planning on trying to get this into this arcade release, but I didn't get around to it. All right. So we can go ahead and I think make it so that we start getting random text messages. And what should these text messages say? So I just put in Miss Albertson needs coffee grounds. But like, should it be like deliver A to B or something like that? Anyone have any ideas?
I think it'd be nice if there's like a header that's like order received or something, so it looks like official.
Okay, so like,
yeah, but I don't have thoughts about what the order should say.
let's make this much slower.
I feel like if you're able to receive text messages, you should occasionally just get messages that are like, hey, what are you doing for dinner? You know, just like normal life messages.
Reply stop in all caps to.
You subscribe to Cat Facts.
Okay, so real quick, let's go ahead and do a few things that I forgot. So I'm going to go into sprites, and I want to set some flags on our projectile just to make sure that it doesn't run into any issues with the tile map. So I'm going to go to projectile, and I'm going to set the flag ghost to be true. I'm also going to set it to be invisible, though that's not really important, but I'm just going to do that. And this will make it so that we don't get into an issue where we have walls on our tile map and it hits this wall and the text stops moving. Okay, so let's go ahead and I think that's a good idea. But when a text appears, it should probably tell you someplace that you need to go. I don't think that picking up things is really part of this game. It's more just about getting them where they go. So what if you got a text that said like, Mr. whatever needs whatever, or some name needs whatever, and then like above one of these doors, their name will appear and maybe bob up and down. And then when you go and you hit that door, then it will be delivered, and you'll get a point or something. What do you think of that?
Yeah.
Sounds awesome.
Cool. All right. Don't all speak at once, guys. So I'm going to create a new function now that's going to be called create delivery.
And it's my first stream. I get some slack.
That's true. Abhijith gets some slack. You guys get no pity from me.
So Abhijith can talk all at once.
Yeah.
Oh, we can't.
We're not allowed.
No, I was sarcastically saying that you guys were trying to talk all at once when no one was talking. All right. So create delivery is going to take in two arguments. The first one is going to be a name, which is going to be whoever is ordering the thing. And the next thing is going to be the thing that they are ordering. So I'm going to first, as part of this, do a call create text message order received. And now this is going to kind of bring me to my first kind of thing with the story extension that I haven't gone over yet, which is this function called queueStoryPart. So if anyone has a better name for this, let me know, because I haven't been able to come up with a really good, not confusing name. But basically what this function does is it lets us queue a story part so that the next time this function is called with something, this code will not execute until this one has finished. Right now they're doing nothing, so they'll just both immediately go. But if I were to take this create text message and put it in here, we should be able to see. Oh, I'm not calling this function yet. Let me do it inside of the on A button pressed. Now when I press A, we should see it print order received, then wait for this to go away, and then print order received. Cool.
So they're like chapters in the story that you're giving out.
Something like that, yeah. So I think we wanted to say create text message, order received, and then we want to create a text message, and it's going to use a join block. So let me go into text. And we're going to say name once item. And that's good for now. So we're going to, I think, just have an on-game update interval that's going to create deliveries kind of as we go along. And there will be more stuff that we have to do in here, including choosing a door for them to go to and putting a name above the door. But for now, this is good. So let me go into an on-game update interval. We're going to do an on-game update every 500 milliseconds. And we're going to call create a delivery. And now we're going to need a list of names and a list of items. These aren't really important, but they're just kind of fun little flavor text that we're going to have for our game. So let's create arrays to store these in. Recipients will be our list of names for people. And deliverables will be our list of things to deliver. Ah, look, I'm corporating it up, everybody. Are you proud of me, Abhijith? All right, give me some names, guys.
Mr. Steve.
One thing I'm seeing real quick in the game that's playing is I need spaces around this once. So let me go ahead and do that real quick. All right, come on, guys, names.
B, like B-E-E. Or do we want to be polite? Do they always have to have like a formal part at the beginning?
No, it could be whatever.
Okay.
Like seriously anything. I want crazy names. They don't all have to be Mr. Whatever.
Bartholomew. I feel like we always need Bartholomew.
Rosa?
Erasmus?
Ooh.
Abhijith, you have to say one.
I'm finding it hard. What kind of name? Like, what are these? What is Bartholomew mean? I'm not sure.
It's just an old timey name, you know?
Rasputin.
Daryl should be a name.
Ooh, we got a request to add Johnny from the chat. I think with a Y, but that's a pretty good spelling too.
It's a lot of ways to spell Johnny.
Joanna.
All right, let's switch to things that can be delivered. Is that how you spell Joanna?
I feel like there's an O, but I don't.
I have an O in there.
Know.
I think
Oh no, sorry,
see it
H.
with two N's.
Yeah.
But there's also Johanna, which would be what you would see with an H.
Cool. All right. Objects to be delivered.
Pizza.
Cat
Scissors.
food. Wait, Vivian, what did you? Also cat.
I don't know anybody who delivers scissors. It's Amazon.
I mean, I need scissors all the time. Toilet paper?
Had to figure that one out. All right, one more and then we'll keep going.
Mask.
Hat.
All right. So I think I'm going to change this a little bit so that it's once a, and then I'm going to put it in quotes just to make it look a little prettier. And let's go ahead and call create delivery, but use our names instead. So the way I'm going to do this is I'm going to go into arrays and get an array get block. So this get value at. For the first one, I'm going to do recipients, and I'm going to go into math and get a random range block. So this pick random. And I want to choose between 0 and the length of recipients minus 1. So go to math, do a minus. And we'll put it in there. All right. Now we're going to do the same thing for the second argument, but this one is going to be, whoops. This one is going to be with our deliverables. And I'm also going to get rid of this QStory part for now. So I'm just going to, I think, do the create text message for order received, and then pause, and then create a text message so that it has a little time to scroll up. So let me go ahead and do pause. We'll pause for 500 milliseconds, and we'll see how that goes. It needs to be a little longer, huh? Order received. Bartholomew wants a toilet paper. Mr. Steve wants a toilet paper.
Sounds like a pandemic.
Johanna wants a scissors.
The first quotes isn't printing.
Yeah, I don't get why that's happening, actually. Weird. What if I put 2? This is a bug. Someone write this down.
Okay.
I'll write it down.
I'm just the bug master.
2 works.
No, it doesn't work.
Oh, it's end of line.
Backslash?
If the line ends with the quote.
Oh, I think you might be right. This might be a bug in my story extension. Yes, I think that's what's going on. So I think I'll just get rid of the quotes for now to work around this bug. Sorry, everybody. All right. So we have order received. Johanna wants a pizza. All right, cool. We've got our orders coming in. They probably shouldn't be coming in with this frequency. So I think I'm going to create a variable that's going to be orders active. And this is going to let us check how many orders are currently active. And I think we're going to have a maximum number of orders that you can deliver at one time. So I think for now, we'll probably just set it to be like 1, and then we'll probably increase it later. So when we create delivery, we'll change orders active by 1. And we also need to check here to see, I'm not going to do this inside of create delivery. It makes more sense to do it outside. So inside of this on-game update, I'm going to say, if orders active, where to go? There we go. Is less than 1, then it'll create a delivery. Daryl wants a mask. Is that true, Daryl?
Hunting for the unmute button. No, I have a bunch of masks actually. Luckily, I'm okay.
Our game's a
Could be
liar.
another Daryl. There's a lot of Daryls out there.
I don't know about that.
Okay, so let's go ahead and do the part of the delivery that's going to choose a door for us to deliver to. So I think what we're going to do is inside of the scene category, we're going to get a list of all tiles that are doors. So that should be in here somewhere. Here we go. Array of all blank locations. I'm going to change this one to be door. And we want to choose a random one of these. So I'm going to create a variable and call it all doors. So we'll set all doors to be this. We're going to choose a random one of these. So I'm going to duplicate this. just because I just need to change the dropdown now. So we'll go all doors here, like that. And then we are going to go into the scene and, well, let's go ahead and create another variable. It's called door location. So we're going to set our door location to be all doors get a random value, just like we did before. So from 0 to the length of all doors minus 1. And we want to set that door to be open. So I'm going to go here, and I need to create another tile now, which is going to be an open door. So let me go back to my tile map. Let's duplicate the door tile. Go ahead and click edit. And I'm just going to make it the same shape, but all white on the inside. This will be our open door. And I want to set that at the door location. Okay. There we go. There's our open door. I'm seeing now I should probably leave one line of black pixels at the bottom. So let me go ahead and do that real quick. Okay. The other thing that I mentioned was we want to have a piece of text that is going to put the name above the door for the thing that we are delivering. So to do that, the arcade story extension isn't really the best choice because we want it to just be a static piece of text. So I'm going to use Daryl's text extension.
Woo.
Oh, shoot. Darzu slash.
Ooh, let me look it up. I think it's just text sprite.
I think it's arcade text.
Maybe.
It popped up.
Try it.
All right. Hopefully this doesn't add something weird to our project.
I mean, it's whatever Daryl made.
Looks right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that looks right. All right, cool. So someone will drop that extension into the chat. All right, so let's go ahead and create our text sprite. We're going to set the text to be the name. So I'll put that right there. Let's see, what's the plus on here? Yeah, okay. So we want, I think white text is probably good, but we're going to give it a background of black so that it contrasts with the brick tiles that we have. It's big text by default. So I'm going to give it a little bit of a border. So I'll set text sprite like this. I'm just going to make it black so that it blends in, and we'll give it like a 2-pixel padding so that it looks a little bit nicer. Daryl, cool. I want it to be using the smaller font, as much as I love this giant font. So I'm going to go in, and there's a set max font height in here, and I'm going to set that to be 8. I think that should force it to use the smaller font. There we go. Rasputin. All right. So we've got our text, right? First thing I want to do is, just like I was setting those flags before, I'm going to set ghost for this one because we're going to make it appear on the building, and that's going to be a wall. So we want this text sprite ghost to be on. Next, we want to put it on top of this door location, but we also want to move it up. So I'm going to go into scene and drag out another place on top of block. This one, though, is going to be a place my sprite on top of location. Change this to be text sprite, and then change the location to be door location. Cool, Rasputin. So I want this to move up, though. And so to do that, I can change the Y by -16. All of our tiles are 16 by 16. And if you remember, negative is up. So if I change it by -16, that'll move it 1 tile upwards. So I'll go into sprites. get a change block, and then change the text sprite y by -16. Cool. All right, Daryl's right there. Okay. So we've got our orders being created, and we have our orders being assigned. The nice thing about this is that we actually have a very easy way to make sure that we don't have more than one order at the same house, because we're setting this tile to be a different tile. So even if we change our code so that we can have multiple orders at once, it'll always just be one door that is open and has a delivery. Or, I mean, the same name won't be attached to the same door twice. I don't know, something like that. Okay, so let's go ahead and do the part of our delivery, which is actually, making it. So one thing that's kind of a problem here is that I can't actually overlap with that door tile, and that's because my sprite is too wide. So there's a few different ways I could fix that, but the easiest way, and the way that I'm going to do, is just getting rid of the walls on either side of this. So even though it looks like my sprite should be able to go through, the issue here is that the entire image itself is wider than 16 pixels. And for tile maps, the hitbox is always the entire image in a rectangle. So I can't go in a one tile thing with this sprite. But now with this, I can, which is nice. So now I can go in here and I can add an overlap event for an open door.
Mm-hmm. And it looks fine because it's like a 2.5D sort of thing going on.
Yeah. That is true. I should just get rid of the wall on the entire first row.
Mm-hmm.
Good idea, Joey. Okay. So now is going to be the tricky part. We want to make sure that we handle the door overlap, but also clear the text sprite that is above the door. And I don't really have an idea of how to do this yet, but let's go ahead and add the overlap events, and hopefully one of my co-streamers can think of something. So changing this to be the open door. So on sprite of kind player overlaps that. We want to, at that location, we're going to set the tile to be a closed door. We're going to change the orders active by -1. And we are going to give the player a point. All right, so let's just test this out real quick. Bartholomew, what's toilet paper? Here you go.
Let's see. Oh, you also have to destroy the sprite above it.
Yeah.
That's our job.
Yeah.
All right. What'd you guys come up with?
I have a solution, but it's a bad solution, I think. So if anybody else has something.
If you move the sprite down slightly so that it's just above the door instead of so it's still overlapping, we can do an overlap event between the text and see if do something annoying like that.
It won't look as nice,
create
though, but that does give me an idea.
Oh, okay.
Oh, no, go ahead.
You could create a big sprite over the door, invisible, and overlap it with whatever text it touches and destroy everything.
This is probably the better way to do. Can we store?
Yeah. So I created a sprite. Yeah, so I went into the extensions thing and added another extension. In this case, it's going to be sprite-data. So it'll show up in the bottom of the extension one. You don't actually have to search anything to get this one. It's down at the bottom, and it's a little duck with some text on top of it. This one right here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create an invisible sprite you can collide with that's going to be on top of the door. And that invisible sprite is going to store a link to the text sprite that I created. So let's go ahead and do that real quick. This one is going to be my door trap. And it's going to be of kind trap. I can't put an exclamation point. I need to make this an image that is not transparent. So I'm going to create an image that is, I guess like 3 tiles wide. So maybe like 48 by 48. I mean 48 by 16. And in order for it to have overlap events, I need to fill this in. So I'm going to do that real quick. And you know what? Because I want it to stand out, I'm going to break my 2-color rule. All right. So I want to place this door trap on top of the door location.
I think you could just do this door trap in the overlaps open door, and if it was tall, it would also hit the text sprite, right?
I don't know, but I have an idea. So
okay,
I'm gonna
do your thing.
I'm gonna keep doing this. So I'm going to put this here. And now inside of the sprite-data extension, I'm going to scroll down. The sprite-data extension, by the way, adds a bunch of things inside of this data category inside of Sprite. And I want to get the set door trap data name to be a sprite. And it's going to be this text sprite. Now I need to add an overlap event. And this overlap event is going to be between the player and the trap. And when that happens, now this other sprite is going to point to whichever sprite is the door trap I'm colliding with. And inside of the sprites category at the bottom, I can get the sprite that I have attached using this item data as sprite. So I'm going to take 2 destroy blocks. One is going to destroy other sprites. And the other one is going to destroy the sprite that is attached to other sprite with name. All right, let's try this out. Rasputin wants a pizza. There we go, cleared it. This has the kind of unfortunate side effect of I can clear it without actually overlapping with the door, but I'm not going to worry about that right now.
Can't we just make it 16 by 16 instead of wider? Because if it's 16 by 16, it will trivially be the door.
I guess that's true. Well, it's not entirely true just because the overlaps is a little stricter than the tile, but it'll work most of the time.
This is awesome.
Cool. All right. Let's get rid of those annoying pink squares. So to do that, I'm just going to set the invisible flag on these squares. They'll still have collisions run. They just won't have the they won't be drawn to the screen. So I'm going to drag out another set flag. Going to change this to be door trap. Going to set the invisible on. Now it'll be invisible. Cool. All right, and I'm getting a lot of extra points because we only have 2 houses and it's spawning really quickly. I'm going to change this to be like more like 5 seconds, so that it just kind of feels like they're coming in sporadically, you know. And then right now, with the rest of my time, I'm going to make this tile map much bigger. And yeah. We didn't get quite as far as I wanted to, but we got as far as I thought we would. So.
Nice. Okay. Time for outros then, I guess?
Time for names.
Yeah.
I mean, a quick thing. So you want the name to be static, right? On the homes? Same name, right? Yeah.
Oh, no. Multiple people can live at the same address.
They can move. It's their right to change houses.
They can visit friends. Come on, Abhijith.
Hey, you're at a house party and you want to order some cake.
It's a stay-at-home order. You're not supposed to visit your friends.
But this is a fantasy world.
This is a fantasy world where no quarantine is currently happening.
Okay.
I guess you can assign individual too if you want to, right? Yeah.
All right, so we need to, last thing we need to do is come up with a name for this game. Again, don't all speak at once.
I think we need to decide like what the spirit of the game is, right? What makes this game this game?
I think it's the cool houses art.
Abhijith's delivery service?
Yes.
I like it, but I'm going to have to change the name of the courier.
This is Uber.
Oh, you put a black line on the bottom so it can go like up and down sidewalks.
What?
I didn't like when you were making your sidewalks. You're like the best way to make sidewalks is doing 2 lines, and I understood the point of the right black line, but I didn't get the point of the bottom one until now.
Yep. Mm-hmm. You're correct. That was why I did it. All right, we'll do one more house and then we'll call it a day. And maybe before I post the game, but not realistically because I'm kind of busy. I could add like a better lines that kind of wrap around. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of stuff we could add. We could add a little mini map of the town that kind of highlights where you're supposed to go, make it a little easier on the player. We could add a time limit so that it expires if you don't go fast enough, and then your rating goes down or something. Kind of grim commentary on the state of
Yeah, I think I've seen that in Black Mirror.
Yeah.
Oh, I like that little house. That little house is beautiful.
It'd be cool if we had a rival delivery person, super fast on their bike.
They give you a head start of like 10 seconds and then immediately go to the location at like 200 speed.
Mm-hmm. All right, let's do outros. So thank you guys so much for tuning in today on our MakeCode Arcade Advanced stream. I'm Richard, at Richard on the forum.
I'm Abhijith, AB Chatra on the forum.
I'm Joey.
And I'm Daryl.
Daryl.
Oh. I'm Daryl, at Darzoo on the forum.
I'm Joey, at J Wonderl on the forum.
I'm Shannon, at Shakao on the forum.
And I'm Vivian, at Live Cheerful on the forum.
And one other thing we want to say real quick before we end this stream is that next week we're going to be doing another theme week. This one's going to be pretty fun. We're going to make a game about collecting things. It's very similar to a very popular game series that I'm not going to say the name of. But the idea is you go around, you collect little creatures that you can then raise into your team and use to fight other teams.
You want to collect them all.
Yes, that's a fun way of hinting at what it is.
Collect them all, yes.
Mm-hmm. So totally tune in next week. We're going to be working on one game for the whole week, and hopefully it'll end up being a pretty cool series of videos on how to make this kind of game. Mm-hmm. So thanks so much, everybody.